Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of Daily Sketches. Not even technically a daily sketch, this is more like a daily animation, even though I don't animate daily. But this is like the first animation test that I ever did with the Aviator, and it's cool because it's the first time I really tried to animate on the iPad Pro, which is what I use for almost all of my daily sketches, but it's not... Like, there are some animation apps for the iPad Pro, very few of them are very handy in terms of, like, being able to do a lot of powerful drawing stuff. For the most part, actually pretty much exclusively I animate on a desktop with Toon Boom. But I wanted to try something with this and use an amalgam of programs to make something that would serve the purpose of animating a test for the Aviator. And this was done with Procreate, using the pencil tool there. I really like the pencil tool, I like the look of it, and I was able to get like really clean lines that I could really sketch out. And basically for this, it was just a lot of like duplicating layers and messing with layer opacity, and so like I would duplicate that main torso pose a bunch, and then just erase and redraw the arms so that I didn't have to redo a bunch of work. And that was kind of the big element for this main part where the torso kind of stayed in the same position. And you can see here, like, I'm going back a bit, like I had kind of established, like, the next poses that he was going to do, and even here, like, I'm establishing the next pose that he's going to end up on, but this is really me attempting to work pose to pose through Procreate. And the reason that that's different is just because, like, there are no keyframes, there's no timeline layer. It's just a matter of setting up your drawing layers in a way that kind of fits that. And so I'm just creating these layers first and working on them, and then I'll go and put layers in between these poses that you see right now to create the in-betweens that would be necessary to kind of create that movement. So a lot of it is just like kind of working out the big poses I want to hit, and then going back and kind of filling in some of the breakdown poses and all that. And towards the end of it, you'll see I go back and I work on some other poses to fill in certain areas that I missed originally. I was using actually a stop motion program to compile the frames that I had exported from Procreate. The animation programs were not working as well for it, so I just went to a stop motion program that, you know, is meant to compile like stop motion pictures, pictures that you would take of a model or whatever as you move those in iterations. But it worked well enough here for the drawings. And so here I just kind of went back in and copied a bunch of poses for extra frames, and then used the pencil tool to draw kind of the smoke trail as he's leaving the frame. And this was just straightforward animation as opposed to the pose-to-pose style that I was using earlier. And that kind of keeps it kind of flowing, and I get to kind of make some fun decisions as I go. And now I'm moving back to breakdowns. I had really decided not to try and figure out how he was going to get down from that standing pose to that kind of crouched pose before he takes off again. And, you know, some of that's laziness, and some of that's, like, just trying to figure out what it is I want certain aspects to look like. You know, even something as simple as going to a crouch position is acting, you know, in the long run. So deciding, you know, the way in which he's going to move down to that position is an important problem to solve. Full disclosure, I don't think I solved that problem very well here. I don't like how this movement turned out. It looked kind of stiff and cardboardy. And I'm honestly fairly new to animation. I've only been animating for about 3 or so years now. That was a point where I decided to see if I could add color pretty easily and do it that way, but I decided to just stick to pencil lines. So yeah, I've only been animating for about 3 years, which means that my comfort drawing, like doing traditional frame-by-frame animation, is pretty minimal. So like things like moving a lot of masses in conjunction, like the torso and the head and all that stuff, is not super comfortable to me. But you can see right here the finished animation, and I'll play it one more time. And And that is the Aviator Search pencil tests. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel for more art and more cartoons. And please consider checking out my social media in the description, like my Instagram. I would love to have you sign up there as well. Thanks, and please check in next time for more art.